Proceedings at the Madlanga Commission continue today with the testimony of the second witness and member of the political killings task team, Lieutenant-Colonel Khumalo. He told the Commission that the letter of the PKTT disbandment circulated on social media on the 31st of December last year. He says it took him by surprise and he didn't know what to do at that particular moment. Khumalo says Lieutenant-General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi addressed the PKTT members in January 2025, encouraging them to continue operating while the issue was being addressed.
When we came across the letter on social media, I think from the 98 members then that were with the team, all of them were accessing or having accessible access to the social media. Neither of them was at the age whereby he'll say, no, I'm not a social media person. Therefore, commissioners, it struck everyone it was like a lightning. And me, as the major commander, I was receiving all these phone calls. And first thing first that came into my mind is how I'm going to address these members. Because this says with immediate effect. It's the 31st of December. We have already submitted the financial documents for January. And there comes this letter. And I first took a phone and phoned the project coordinator, because one of my roles as the major commander was to liaise, be a liaising officer between the team, the project coordinator, which is General Khumalo, and obviously accounting at the same time to the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant-General Mkhwanazi. But my immediate commander then, it was Lieutenant-General Khumalo as the project coordinator. I phoned him and I said, Mphathi, ngibone enye into la. Kwenze njani? And he said, Khumalo, I'm sure guess you are shocked. But address the members and tell them that we are dealing with this matter. We don't know how this letter came about, because there was no official communication with us. We perhaps think this is not true. Therefore, I then called the commanders, because I felt like, let me first talk to the commanders and they go and talk to the members. If the members still don't understand, that's when I will call the whole team.
All right, we'll stay with this particular story now and speak to security expert and former Western Cape Police Commissioner, Dr. Lennit Max. Dr. Max, a very good evening to you, and thank you once again for joining us. So this, particular letter, of course, it's back in the spotlight, but earlier on today, we also heard of another issue that you and I have spoken about in the past, which is the issue of the dockets, right? And how the head of serious and violent crimes, for example, Mary Motsepe, saying that when she looked at the dockets and she was instructed to take them back, they were not being investigated for about 3 months. And this is disturbing to hear, particularly given the sensitivity of the matters that the PKTT was dealing with.
Yes, of course. For 3 months, no incident, no diary update about what was done is of a concern, serious concern, because the families of the victims do have an expectation once these cases have been attended to by the police, that the police will work and leave no stone unturned to get to the perpetrators. However, there is also, between the evidence of Lieutenant-Colonel Khumalo and Major General Motsepe, some discrepancies about the fact that the dockets didn't get attention, and he will actually dispute it, as well as Motsepe also indicated that they audit all the dockets, and Khumalo said that 31 of the dockets were not audited. So yes, there's some discrepancies, but I'm glad that this whole saga came to an end and the dockets are there, at a particular unit who are supposed to deal with this particular serious and violent crimes.
And I want us to speak about this issue of the audit and why it was important, because when you listen to Motsepe, for example, she says that the dockets could have been audited in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and then you listen to Khumalo speaking about what you just said earlier on. So when it comes to the auditing of dockets, what goes into that and why is it so important?
Yeah, the auditing of dockets entails, some sort of an inspection, where the commanders look at the docket, audits the docket, what was done in connection with the investigation, and query whether the investigating officer didn't give sufficient attention to the investigation and to keep the complainants or the family members up to date with the progress. I just want to mention the following, which is of a very serious concern to me, actually a grave concern. Both the suspended or the minister on special leave as well as the acting minister are of the view, respectfully so, that they do have the powers to instruct the closing of a unit and to give operational instructions to the National Commissioner. Now, if that is the case, then what we are actually dealing at this particular point in time is the very minister assuming that responsibilities, and that causes this whole saga and the up and down of the dockets to head office and then back to KwaZulu-Natal. Now, the acting minister said during his testimony in the ad hoc committee, if he doesn't possess or assume those powers as a minister, because then the president of this country delegated those powers to him, because in terms of the constitution, the president actually granted the powers to give instructions. So that powers is actually delegated to the minister representing the president. And if Parliament wants to keep him responsible or accountable, he will say, no, I don't have asked them, the commissioner. Now, the flip side of the coin is also true. The thing is, if the minister got all those powers, then you don't need a director general, because the national commissioner will say, don't ask me, that was the instructions of the minister.
Yeah. So
the minister got the remedies. And the remedy is, and his function, in my view, in terms of the constitution, is an oversight role over South African Police Service. And he or she is in a position to tell the National Commissioner, your strategy in place does not address the issues as expected. And you need to come up with a new strategy. So he or she got that right. And if the National Commissioner can't deliver, he or she can approach the president to tell the president that this National Commission is not enough.
So briefly, before I let you go, what in your view then causes the lines to be blurred and this confusion? Because Major General Van Rooyen, for example, when she appeared before the commission, did explain in terms of the policy and how things are supposed to go. But we keep on getting to this point of the sticking point about the responsibilities and what are the clearly defined lines not to cross. Why do we keep on getting here?
You know, I'm also on the side of the operational side of Major General Van Rooyen. That is also my views. But on the other hand, politicians want the power, and I think it will be an indictment to him to say, or an embarrassment to say that I can't tell the police that they can do A, B, and C. And on the other hand, we must understand we came a very long way, 30 years, where there were not clarity in interpretation of Section 206 and 207 of the Constitution. And I think, I don't want to jump the gun here, but I think this situation, we have to be thankful for this, because the Madlanga Commission must give some sort of interpretation about the interpretation of the meaning of Section 206 and 207 of the Constitution, and to make it clear who stays in what lane.
Yeah.
So, yes, the benefit of the whole investigation will, and I hope, in my view, will give clarity to that blur situation.
And I suppose we have to wait and see then what happens. Dr. Max, thank you so much for talking to us. I know it's an ongoing conversation, this particular story. That was a security expert and former Western Cape Police Commissioner, Dr. Lennit Max.